We sat down with Jewel backstage in Atlanta for her first Primetime Network interview.
The video gets more and more ridiculous, more and more over the top, to where you hopefully, you know, it has to be a joke. By the time you're at the fireman scene, I'm being hosed down, you realize it's a pastiche on music videos and what happens in music videos.
She says she loves going against the grain, playing against type.
I got my eggs and my pancakes too.
Discovered at a coffee house 10 years ago, she rocketed to fame, a new breed of pop folk singer-songwriter.
Come on, baby, let's get in the car.
She was 19, with an amazing voice and an amazing story.
Who will save your soul?
She grew up in the Alaskan wilderness, poor, on the same 800-acre homestead as her father had. No plumbing, no hot water, but plenty of music.
My parents had a show in a hotel when I was really young, and I learned to yodel and did that on the stage with my family.
I hate to ask, but can you still do it?
Yeah, I can.
Could you do a little?
As sexy as it is, I will do.
That's pretty great. I mean,
my misspent youth, yeah.
in many ways, it seems Jewel had very little childhood. By age 8, her parents divorced, and her mother left her with her father. She remembers the depression that would follow her throughout her life as beginning back then. You said to your mother once, "Mommy, the sad won't go away." Has the sad gone away now?
It's starting to. It's starting to more and more. I think I'm learning more about it.
Always felt I was outside looking in.
On that, I don't want to spend the rest of my adult life learning to get over my childhood. And I think music's helped me a lot with that.
Not that there wasn't plenty to get over. By 14, she was singing in bars with her father. By 16, she was living alone in a one-room cabin. Did you grow up too fast, do you think, looking back on it now?
In some ways, I probably did. In a lot of ways, I was protected, too. Just by grace, probably. I don't know what, but luckily, you know, worse things could have happened to me that never did.
Cutting through the darkest night and my two headlights.
You have written in one of your books a very powerful and intimate description of your relationship with your father. It was tough. You say that he disliked you from the first cry, that he was critical and impatient, suspicious and harsh. There was a lot of tension, disapproval, and pain.
I asked my dad permission to write that, and he was really generous, I thought, because he came from an abusive background. And
his father had been very tough on him.
Yeah, and it's something it's a learned behavior, and unless you learn to be a different way, it doesn't change. In her book, she even refers to being hit, though she says it was rare. You were hit as a child. Oh, we don't need to go into dirty details. But that's what you're saying without saying it, isn't it? Oh, I won't go into details. You're Barbara Walters. What's going on here?
If I could tell the world just one thing, it would be that we're all okay.
Growing up did leave its mark, especially growing up poor. She has often written about it.
Poverty, still your golden shoes.
Being poor is why at 18 she made a shocking decision to live in this van, her mother's suggestion. Most mothers are not recommending to live in their car. Yeah, I don't know if it was a good idea or not, but it all worked out good. With no rent to worry about, she could concentrate on her music. Ironically, since those days, she has spent most of her time living on the road, touring the world. Little wonder, perhaps, that the idea of home is so important to her now. Just this week, she bought a new house in Los Angeles. To those who say you've gone Hollywood, have you?
I do yoga. It's probably a bad sign.
For Jewel, at this point in her life, home is not a place, but a person, Ty Murray. Murray is her boyfriend of the past 5 years. Ty Murray! And the 7-time world champion cowboy. I have to tell everybody what's in the chair here. Ty is listening on the phone from Texas?
Yeah.
What does he represent to you, Ty?
Ty? Constancy. He's a really constant love. He's also a really dependable, decent grown-up. I don't know many grown-ups in the world. Like, he's a real man. And I know a lot of children that are very old, and he's a real accountable adult. And it's a really rare thing to find.
Do we hear any wedding bells going off in the distance?
I'd like to get married at some point. I don't believe in casual marriage. I know Ty doesn't either.
I'm just a simple girl.
And now on the brink of 30, after 2 years off on Ty's ranch, how does life feel to her?
It feels really good. I feel saner than I've ever felt. I feel like I have a better shot than I've ever had.
Why?
I really like getting older. It suits me well.
She is particularly proud of this, Stand, her latest video, just released last week.
I feel like my career's in a place where I understand it, where I love music and I love to be able to play with it, and it doesn't consume my constant every thought. I feel like I can kind of have a balanced life. There's a lot of things. I feel better in my body. I feel sexier than I've ever felt.
Which brings us back to where we began, with the new Jewel. We watch as she walks alone onto the stage.
Hi.
Just woman and guitar.
I really do challenge the idea that you can't be sexy and smart at the same time.
Tonight, the sexy and the smart seem to easily coexist.
I'm so sorry.
The kids in the crowd wanted to sing Intuition, but since she can't play it yet, she asked the guy who tunes her guitars for help.
He's a better guitar player than I am. Let go your mind, your intuition.
The song, she says, was meant as a joke.
Just follow